Today on People Now, Selma Blair is opening up on GMA about her multiple sclerosis diagnosis following her return to the red carpet at the Oscars.
We have the latest on the R. Kelly sex abuse case. The singer was released from a Chicago jail after posting bail and fails to pay overdue child support.
WWE's Roman Reigns announces his triumphant return. We have details.
We have some major fails in the love department. Mila Kunis reveals Ashton Kutcher's Valentine's Day fail.
And Katy Perry talks about Orlando Bloom's helicopter proposal, but find out what went wrong.
We are still talking about that Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper chemistry moment at the Oscars. Well, Lady Gaga is opening up about that steaming performance.
Plus, we are down to 3 ladies left on The Bachelor. Who is Colton going to choose? We are joined live by Bachelor alum Caila Quinn and comedian Freid for some hot takes on last night's episode.
Let's go!
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Mako is filling in for Jeremy today.
Hello,
Mako. How are you doing?
I'm great, but you look beautiful in this
thank
blue.
you. I got locked out of my apartment last night, so today's a fresh new day. I'm very excited.
You're riding the day in your favor.
And last night, The Bachelor was pretty intense. So we're talking about The Bachelor's hometown days that we saw last night. Colton tried everything from skydiving to surfing with his lovely ladies.
My type of date, Cassie, Tasia, Hannah G, and Kaylin all brought Colton to where they grew up, and we want to know, who do you think had the best hometown date? Vote for your favorite in our People poll, or just tweet us with your answer in the hashtag PeopleNow.
I gotta go with skydiving all the way. We're gonna break it down later though. We'll check in on the results, break down last night's episode in our Bachelor recap. But for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending today, starting on a very serious note here. R&B singer R. Kelly was released Monday from a Chicago jail after posting $100,000 bail. That's 10% of the $1 million bond a judge set in his case. Hours earlier, Kelly's attorney, Stephen Greenberg, pleaded not guilty on the singer's behalf. Kelly has been indicted by a grand jury on 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse against 4 alleged victims. The 52-year-old spent the weekend in Cook County Jail after he earlier failed to post bail. This is according to CNN. After leaving jail, Kelly was spotted at a McDonald's in Chicago. This video shows Kelly in a black hoodie alongside his entourage sitting down in a booth at the fast food restaurant. Meanwhile, attorney Michael Avenatti, who represents 2 of Kelly's alleged victims, claims his legal team has turned over a second video to prosecutors. He alleges this video shows the R&B singer sexually abusing a minor. While talking to reporters, Avenatti made clear what he thought about the tape. Take a look.
The conduct in the tape can be described as nothing short of outrageous, illegal. It leaves no question as to Mr. Kelly's guilt.
However, Kelly's lawyer told reporters that he has yet to see any evidence that shows his client has done anything wrong and urged giving the singer a fair trial. Watch.
Everybody is entitled to a defense. Everybody is entitled to the presumption of innocence. The questions that I'm getting asked are inconsistent with the presumption of innocence. We should all just be taking a step back.
All the alleged incidents Kelly is charged with are said to have occurred between May 1998 and January 2010, but a renewed interest in the allegations emerged earlier this year with the release of the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. And one of his accusers from the documentary spoke out on Monday. While accusing Kelly of lying, she showed support for all of his alleged victims. Take a look.
The years of him preying on young women have gone on for far too long. Robert Sylvester Kelly must be held accountable for the many lives he has ruined. I stand with the victims, including those who are out there who have not come forward yet. I say to you, you are not alone.
Despite all the allegations against him, Kelly has repeatedly pled his innocence and denied all claims against him. All right, moving on to this, Roman Reigns is proving why he's a force to be reckoned with. After announcing in October that his leukemia had come back and he would be taking a leave of absence from wrestling, the WWE champion made a triumphant return to the ring on Monday night to share some good news. Watch this.
The good news is I'm in remission, y'all. So with that being said, the big dog is back!
I love his energy here. That's right, addressing the crowd in Atlanta during an episode of WWE Raw, the 33-year-old wrestler, whose real name is Joe Anoa'i, revealed that he was currently in remission for the second time and intended to get back to the sport. The star was first diagnosed with cancer in 2008 when he was 22 years old, but not long after, he was in remission. 4 months ago, the wrestler revealed during an episode of WWE Raw that his cancer had returned. He would be giving up his championship title and taking a leave of absence from the sport. At the time, he said, quote, "The reality is my name is Joe, and I've been living with leukemia for 11 years, and unfortunately, it's back. Because the leukemia is back, I can't fulfill my role. I can't be that fighting champion, and I'm going to have to relinquish the Universal Championship." It is unclear at this time when Roman plans to make his official return to the ring. Representatives at WWE did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. But we say, way to go, Roman. All right, now watch this.
When you were first diagnosed, what initially went through your mind?
I cried. I had tears. They weren't tears of panic. They were tears of knowing I now had to give in to a body that had loss of control. And there was some relief in that, because ever since my son was born, I was in an MS flare-up and didn't know. And I was giving it everything to seem normal. And I was self-medicating when he wasn't with me. And, you know, I was drinking. I was in pain. I wasn't always drinking. But there were times when I couldn't take it. And I was really struggling with how am I going to get by in life.
It's a very powerful video there. That's Selma Blair from her Tuesday morning appearance on Good Morning America, speaking for the first time about her life with multiple sclerosis, a disease which affects the central nervous system. In the midst of a flare-up, the 46-year-old actress sat down with ABC News' Robin Roberts, starting the interview by sharing what life with an aggressive form of MS is like. She also revealed that her impaired speech is due to the neurological disorder spasmodic dysphonia, which is a result of the MS. The interview was recorded just days before Blair stepped out at Sunday's Vanity Fair Oscar party. She explains her journey from the disease's onset, which she says started after her son was born back in 2011. Speaking confidently, although with some difficulty, Blair explained the early physical signs, how those signs weren't taken seriously by her doctors for years, and how she coped with her unknown ailment while trying to be the best mother that she could. After unknowingly living with MS for years, it was connecting with Michael J. Fox that helped her feel better. The 57-year-old actor was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 1991 and has been a very powerful advocate for fundraising and awareness around neurological disorders for many years. Now, she confided in him saying, "I don't know who to tell, but I'm dropping things, I'm doing strange things." Later adding, "He really helped me and he gives me hope." While Blair says it wasn't difficult explaining her condition to her 7-year-old son Arthur, she did have to yield some difficult questions, especially when he asked if the disease would kill her. She replied saying, "We never know what kills us, Arthur, but this is not the doctor telling me I'm dying." While Blair's condition is serious, her energy and hopefulness shine through in the interview as she reveals that her doctors feel she could regain 90% of her abilities over the course of the next year, which is amazing news. Now, regardless of what the future holds, for now she's happy to raise awareness around multiple sclerosis and break the stigma around someone living with a disorder like MS. We gotta say, she looks great while doing it. I mean, it's a very moving stuff. That interview is so powerful.
Absolutely.
She looks great. The outfit's incredible. Take a look at her closing sentiment.
I was a little scared of talking, and even my neurologist said, no, this will bring a lot of awareness because no one has the energy to talk when they're in a flare-up. Mm-hmm. But I do, because I love a camera.
I mean, I think she's had such an amazing, positive attitude about
so
all of
brave.
this. I think
Absolutely.
this is such an incredible, moving interview.
I agree.
And I'm so happy that she found the bravery to speak out about it
She's
and raise
helping
awareness.
so many people. Yeah.
All right, moving on to this. On Monday night's episode of The Bachelor, Colton Underwood met the final 4 contestants' families, revealed he's falling in love, those are his words, with each and every one of them. This is kind of insane, you guys. One date that stood out was his date with Cassie in Huntington Beach, California. Before even meeting her family, Colton tried to get a better understanding of where she stood with her feelings. So far, she's the only one who hasn't told him she loves him. Cassie told him that she knows how she feels. She wants to be sure, maybe a little more guarded. Makes sense. They've only been knowing each other for a month. Mm-hmm. When Colton arrived at Cassie's house to meet her family, it was clear her father wasn't feeling the love. One of the best quotes from the night was from Cassie's dad, who told cameras, "We don't know him. He seemed like a guy." And by the time Colton sat down with her dad one-on-one to ask for his permission to propose, things were pretty cringeworthy. Take a look.
So, I think that a lifelong commitment that's big.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be taken at all lightly. No. Because it is forever, in my opinion. And too often it's, I think, done without enough thought. So I feel like as far as the hand in marriage, that would be a premature blessing. So is that?
This makes me happy that I'm single. I don't have to bring someone home. All right, we're unpacking all of the highlights from Monday night's episode of The Bachelor later in the show. Make sure you stick around for that. But first, Mako, you have even more for us in Star Treks.
That's right, Andrea. So we're kicking off Star Treks today with an epic Valentine's Day gift fail from one of our favorite celebrity couples. Watch this.
Wait, so birds are nesting outside of our kitchen window, and my daughter and my son get so into watching. It was the most beautiful thing. It was like a robin's nest, and and we got to see the birds being born and everything. We were fascinated with these little birds. So for Valentine's Day, Ashton got me 2 little lovebirds. And that's when we ran into, we were like, oh my God, we got these little lovebirds. They're so beautiful. And we took them to the bird lady that you recommended. and when we brought our little lovebirds in to, get their nails trimmed or, things that people do with birds, she informed us that we, in fact, did not have lovebirds, but instead have parakeets. They're like called bungees.
Yes.
We have bungees.
Talk about a switcheroo. Look, even Ashton Kutcher can get punked sometimes. Mila Kunis stopped by Ellen in an episode airing Tuesday, and she shared the story of her husband's thoughtful but not so flawless Valentine's Day gift from last year. Ellen went out to point out the price difference between the lovebirds and the parakeets, joking that parakeets cost like $10. But luckily, Mila says she loves her husband so much and called his intentions with the gift beautiful. Now, you might remember Ashton and Mila are huge fans of The Bachelor. So while talking to Ellen, Mila also revealed her thoughts about the current season. Watch.
I think Ashton called it, thinks it's Cassie is the problem.
That you think he jumps the fence because of Cassie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that either she leaves the show or he proposes and she says no. I mean, the whole time he's like, my biggest fear is we're spending so much time talking about this. But I really do believe he says in every episode, my biggest fear is that I'm going to propose to somebody and they're going to say no.
You're right that he does say that a lot, and maybe that
he says it in every
All right,
episode.
You said it and I said it, so we both said it.
Very interesting. She also thinks Never Been Kissed Heather is a fraud, saying, the first time I kissed someone did not look like that. The first time you do it, you're awkward. And she was in there. All good points, Mila. I love how much she loves this show. She's just like one of us, you guys. All right, listen up, little monsters. If you love Lady Gaga's show-stopping Oscar dress, you can now buy it with the click of a mouse. Retailer Moda Operandi is selling the Brandon Maxwell gown, although the brand did clarify on Instagram, Oscar not included. You can't win them all. The award-worthy gown will set you back $6,495 and requires about a $3,000 deposit, which, listen, is pocket change if you've got an Oscar-winning song under your belt, right? The dress is made of silk and cotton and is available in sizes 0 through 14. And yes, full refunds are a thing if you aren't feeling as Gaga as you hoped when the dress arrives. I'm sure I would. I love that dress. Designer Brandon Maxwell is Gaga's former stylist and one of the newest judges on Project Runway. But this dress was only one of Gaga's looks at Sunday's Oscars. She also turned heads in an Alexander McQueen ball gown, which she wore to walk the red carpet before the ceremony. The black dress included sculptural accents at the waist, and Gaga accessorized with long black leather gloves and the Tiffany diamond famously worn by Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Very nice. Okay, so Katy Perry is finally sharing the details of Orlando Bloom's romantic Valentine's Day proposal. The singer stopped by Jimmy Kimmel Live on Monday night and revealed that the actor asked her on a Valentine's Day helicopter ride, but things didn't go exactly as planned. Katy walked us through the whole fiasco, saying, quote, "We had champagne in the helicopter and the ring box was in his pocket and he had written down everything he wanted to say on a note. So I'm reading the note, but I'm hearing the champagne is broken and there's bottles everywhere. So he's pulling out this box that's too big for his coat pocket. He rips his coat pocket and his elbow goes into the champagne. But it ended up working out just fine for these two lovebirds. They ended up landing the helicopter on a rooftop in Los Angeles, where they met up with Katy's family and friends to celebrate their engagement. How sweet is that? Katy also revealed how In-N-Out played a huge role in how the two first met. Yes, we're talking about that fast food joint. Take a look.
We bonded over an In-N-Out burger about 3 years at the Golden Globes.
You and Orlando did?
Yeah, he stole one off of my table. I was sitting with Denzel Washington, and he took it, and I was like, wait, who? Oh, you're so hot. Fine, take it. And then I saw him at a party, and I was like, how are those onions resting on your molars? He's like, I like you. And then, you know, cut two.
Gotta love it. And the rest, they say, is history. Katy first shared the engagement ring news on February 15th with an Instagram post showing off that unique flower-shaped ring, writing full bloom. And Katy also revealed to Kimmel that she, quote, voiced her opinions when it came to picking out the bling. I'd say she did a pretty good job. It looks bomb on her. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, stay with us. We'll be joined live by World of Dance judge Derek Hough. We love him. He's talking the brand new season and so much more. Plus, we're breaking down last night's episode of The Bachelor. So many surprises went down during Hometowns Week. We'll chat through all of that in just a little bit. All right, guys. So last night's Bachelor episode featured the highly anticipated hometown dates. We've been asking you, who do you think had the best one? Let's check in on our results so far.
Let's see.
What do you think? Oh, it's a close race.
It is a close between Tayshia and
Tayshia had
Hannah.
the skydiving.
That's what you wanted to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Hannah G had the etiquette class, which honestly I found very bothersome.
That's fun. We should take one together.
You think that's fun?
Listen, we need to hold those books on our head and learn how to walk straight. Let's do it.
Okay, nightmare.
Okay, guys, keep on voting in our poll. But right now, let's move on to this.
All right, Lady Gaga is breaking her silence about her A Star is Born Oscars performance with Bradley Cooper that we've all been talking about.
Yeah.
The superstar posted a photo of her and Cooper on Instagram, captioning it, nothing could be more special than sharing this moment at the Oscars with a true friend and artistic genius.
That's right. Now, after their performance, Gaga told reporters in the press room the sweet message Bradley said to her after their final rehearsal. He apparently said, one of the hardest things in life is to be brave enough to be yourself. I wish to everyone that is going to that celebration to feel a joy inside of them.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
I do too.
And they definitely dropped some joy. I mean, these two have amazing chemistry. Some say there's something going on.
Oh,
Nicole.
yeah. A lot of people are thinking that. And actually, during our recap show on Monday, many of us were like, oh, that was hot. Take a look.
It just like, right when you were like, okay, that moment has to break, they kept going. They leaned closer. I was like, they're going to French at the office.
I know.
He didn't know if they were going to French. I think he was like, is she going to...
Is this going to happen? Right.
And I think Irina in the audience is like, is she going to...
I wanted them to pan to her. I know that's too dramatic. And
I know.
I wanted
like,
like picture-in-picture of her face for the entire performance.
Yeah. Michaela Brienne, what did you guys make of that moment?
That moment was steaming hot. I had to cool down afterwards. It was hot. What did you think?
Yeah, we were all screaming in the war room and begging the camera to go over to Irina. I wanted to know what that face looked like.
Right.
So yeah, that's how we felt yesterday. We still feel the same today.
Absolutely. Please, cameraman, make it happen for us.
I mean, look, their performance had a lot of people speculating if Irina Shayk was okay with it. Apparently, she was totally cool with it. She was standing up for them in the standing ovation. She hugged both Gaga and Bradley, seemed to cheer for Gaga all night. She was photographed giving Gaga an embrace. She looked really happy for the two of them.
And that's
It was
a good
maybe uncomfortable,
girlfriend.
but she gets it. It's
You think
acting.
she was uncomfortable? I think she was totally with it. I mean, she gets it. Like you said, it is acting.
I don't know. It looked like they were actually going to kiss.
They were going to kiss? No
There might
way.
have been a moment where she was like, wait a second, what's going on? I don't know.
So actually, Cooper and Shayk have been notoriously a very private couple. They started dating in the spring of 2015, and they welcomed a daughter in March of 2017.
Yeah, so a few facts about the Russian supermodel, if you don't already know. She's the first Russian model to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She's also associated with numerous charities like the ASPCA, which is the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So she's an animal lover. She's like an all-around great girl.
She's beautiful inside and out.
Yes.
Andrea. That's what it is. So she's actually walked in numerous runway shows, including Kanye West. By the way, guys, she was actually in his music video for Power as well.
I was just peeping her Instagram recently, and she's killing it. She's doing so much. She's working a lot. She famously dated soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. The two actually dated for 5 years, which, I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, so
that's
she
a pretty long
stays
time.
in relationships. And by the way, she needs to write a book on snagging hot famous guys, because whoa.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing. I'd buy it. Now, speaking of exes, Bradley Cooper's ex-wife, Jennifer Esposito, weighed in on the whole Gaga-Cooper relationship speculation.
Yeah, so comedian David Spade posted a picture of Gaga and Cooper during their performance, asking if there was any chance the two weren't having sex. I mean, go figure, he would say something. Now, she commented on the pic with a simple ha. Look, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe she just found it was funny. I don't know if there's actually some beef with her and Bradley.
Probably just a funny comment.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
they dated, and there was a long time ago.
I mean, what exes are friendly with each other. Isn't that how it usually goes?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right? She probably just thinks the whole thing's really funny. And I just want to
Exactly.
say, maybe these two are just amazing actors. They seem to truly trust one another, right?
I agree
They love
with
each
that.
other as friends.
Men
There's not
and
anything
women
going on.
can have on-screen chemistry, and it doesn't translate to off-screen, right?
All right, let's leave it at that. But more will maybe unfold. So we'll keep you posted.
Stay
All right,
tuned.
now watch this.
I'm curious. Hold up. I'm curious. Hold up.
Tell me y'all stay here.
Come and dance. Come and dance here.
Yes!
What's that?
Yes!
Oh, like this. And a dip. Or that. And my back's out.
Dad, would you just show them a little bit of the side-by-side that we were lagging in?
It feels like it needs like
Yes!
And then I do something. So much.
Wow, that's getting me ready to dance today.
Yes, me too.
That's a clip from the new season of World of Dance on NBC. We are now joined live by a friend of the show, dancer, singer, a man of many, many talents. It's Hough. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, watching you dance, that's
I know.
fun.
They got me super excited.
I can't. You know, usually like when you go see like TV shows, you're like, oh, this isn't as like exciting as it looks on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That show, World of Dance, when you're in that room, it's electric. The energy's insane. So I honestly just get so excited. I can't help myself, and I stand up and I'm cheering, and I love it.
You said that before, that sometimes you can't actually articulate it. It's better to just get up and do it.
Show it.
Show it.
Yeah,
All right, speaking of
exactly.
showing it, what can we expect from season 3? Because we premieres tonight.
It's
super
premieres
excited
tonight.
about it.
So excited. And you know, I mean, we have, again, acts from all over the world. Right here you can see this is Hema. These guys in here are world champion breakdancers, world champion. And actually, breakdancing just got accepted to be in the 2024 Olympics.
I know, that's incredible.
So you're looking at future Olympians right here. This guy named Pocket right here, world champion. I mean, look at this guy. This is insane.
It's crazy. We know the intensity has gone up with, you know, not only the dancers, but how they're judged. So what's the biggest difference now with this new season?
Yeah, so we got 2 format changes, which are great. The first thing is, in the qualifiers, you need an 85 or above to make it through the next round.
Mm-hmm.
So there's less spots, it's more difficult, the standard is being raised. And also my favorite part of the season 3 is the thing called redemption round, where we basically, in the duels, you have 2 acts go head to head, and usually one has to go, right? It's like a duel. But at the end of the night, the 2 top scoring people who got knocked out have a chance to come back and redeem themselves.
Ooh.
And it's like basically a battle, just head to head, same song, going for it. And what it makes for is the most like cinematic, most dramatic moments we've ever have.
That's got to be super intense.
So we get this one more shot, they're gonna pull out all the stops.
And it was so cool about it, like, I don't want to give it too much away, but there's been a few occasions where we're like, oh no, this poor girl, she's gonna get absolutely annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens, something clicks, it's like do or die, like dancing for their lives, and it's just, it's awesome.
Fun.
I can't
Yeah,
wait
you're
to see
judging
it.
alongside J-Lo and Nia, of course.
Yeah.
Season 3, how has that chemistry just built over the years? Are you guys like best friends at this point?
Just besties. I love it, man. We have such a good time. There's a lot more like sort of behind the scenes this season, a lot more like sort of candid moments and banter. And I think this is a moment where I think Jennifer calls me a leading man. And and Neo's saying that I'm a villain, so I was like, okay, go away, Neo, go away.
Of the 3 of you, who has the most energy? Because when I think of all 3 of you, I'm like, you have so much energy, so positive. Who's like the most amped at all times?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
You have the most energy?
That's true.
I'd probably would say me. I just can't help myself, man. I love, like, I'm so passionate about, you know, dancing, of course, and having a front row seat to literally the best dancing in the world.
Absolutely.
And that's not an exaggeration. It really is. It's exciting. It's inspiring. It gets me going.
Well, you're a dancer. You're also a director. If you could direct J-Lo in any video that we haven't seen her in, what would you do? What would that look like?
A video?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. A movie that I love that she did back in the day, The Cell. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a scary kind of movie, but it had some amazing visuals.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd kind of go down that lane again, you know.
A little dark, a lot of dance.
Like, you know, dramatic and like, you know, she's got that dress that goes up the walls, you know, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, we heard, speaking of J-Lo, we heard this behind the scenes story. Apparently you said some corny dad joke to her. What was the dad joke that you said?
One, I'm always cracking dad jokes. Like, they always make fun of me. They're like, but she actually said, she was really sweet. She was like, you're gonna be a good dad one day. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And then she said, so why aren't you? And why aren't you married? I'm like, oh God.
Wait, so what was, but I want to know, what was the joke that inspired her to say that?
I think I said like, man, I feel like we just went camping because that was intense.
I don't normally like that joke.
That was really funny. It took me a second.
It took you a second. You're like, what? And then she's like, Derek, you're not cool. You know, because she's Miss J-Lo. Like, everything's got to be cool. You know, I'm wearing like this and that.
Yes.
And I'm just, there's nothing cool
I
about
love that she called you out then, because then she said, oh, are you going to be a dad? Is that kind of what she...
Yeah, and you know, she's like, well, do you want to get married? I'm like, yeah, well, I think I do. She's like, oh, you think? Oh, you're one of those. I was like, well, hold on, let me finish. And I'm trying to like pull my gaze away from her, you know, but she just has this tractor beam stare. She's just like this. I'm like, okay.
She's J-Lo.
She was sick of the dad jokes, so she turned it on you, and you did an interrogation.
But it's fun, man. We have a good time, and one thing that we all have in common is that we love what we do, and we love the show.
And you can tell. I mean, it just jumps through the screen. But speaking of marriage and kids, though, I have to ask you. Yes, don't brought it up. Derek. This is a safe space. Yes, this is a safe space. Speaking of marriage and kids, you've been very open about your relationship with Hailey. She's so beautiful, so talented.
Look at that.
Look at that. Wow. Is she putting you in the hot seat like J-Lo?
No. No. You know, I'm just finishing up this house. It's almost done. Thank goodness. But you know, once it's settled in there and things, you know, things might happen. Who knows? You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You never know. But right now, you know, we got our cat, Paolo, and our dog, Romy.
That's a good first step.
Life is good. Yeah, and last time you were here, we talked about how you love going on adventures with her.
Love
you guys recently were at a helicopter ride.
Yeah.
You've done that before? I mean, who was more terrified to do this?
I mean, by the way, this looks like a Bachelor.
It really
episode,
does.
Right? Like, we're gonna go on a helicopter. That's one thing she learned is there's no real like, you know, chilling out, sitting down. It's like, all right, babe, let's go swim with sharks. We're gonna go swim with whales, helicopter rides, scuba diving. You know, find a waterfall, let's go jump off it.
You done skydiving? Okay, so you've done all these things. You're like me. I want to go swimming with sharks this year.
I'm afraid of all
But
of
what
that.
is the thing on the bucket list you haven't done yet that you want to do? with her?
There's a great thing. I don't know if you like in Utah, and like the big cliffs and the red rocks. They do like this giant swing where you jump off and you basically fall. And it's insane. It looks crazy.
Yeah,
and
that's
terrifying.
next on the list.
Yeah. I think it's like might be illegal. So.
I mean, we saw earlier in the show, we saw Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. They got engaged in a helicopter. So
Wow.
are you gonna have to do some crazy adventure for your engagement?
I was thinking about that. We have some really amazing adventures. So if I ever do, you know, if that moment ever does come, I'm gonna have to come up with some serious.
Or you could flip
Stuff.
it and just do something really plain and simple.
I know someone that just got engaged in a Costco.
See? Listen,
So maybe
whatever
something simple.
works. Yes. So another important woman in your life, and of course, is your sister. You guys have been so close. How do you guys keep in touch with one another? Because you're so super busy. You and
Well,
Julianne.
we spend a lot of time together because like I've you know, we are always seeing each other. Like, every single day we see each other, and she's the best, man. She's great. We're best friends. You know.
And
we
she's
really
not
are.
on tour with you this time, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I left her at home.
You left her at home. You're doing this on your own.
No, yeah, you know, I love touring. I love going on the road, and I've always kind of, you know, been curious about a solo tour, and I'm so excited about this tour because it's the first time I'm ever bringing on live musicians, live music on stage, infused with the live dancing. And the cast that I've assembled is an all-star cast. Some of the dancers were actually on
Right.
previous
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
So people will recognize them, they'll love them. And that's what I wanted. I wanted stars, you know, not just backup dancers. I wanted like stars.
Actual stars. I was curious to know how
I have some more questions on that. I do want to do one more, Julianne, though.
Yeah.
Because when you were here last time, I love that you guys have such a close relationship. You are best friends. So how have you seen your relationship grow with her as you get older? How is it different?
We're just, I don't know, we're just there for each other. We're just, yeah.
It's more adult now?
Yeah, I guess. Well, actually, it's funny, as we've gotten older, it's gotten less adult. Because when we were younger, we were, you know, we lived, you know, in London together, so we had to be quite, you know, mature. And now we're like happy, life's good, you know, we're working on ourselves, and just doing things that we're passionate about. So we're just kind of like goofy and.
Do you have a favorite activity? Like, okay, it's our Sunday coffee thing or our dance thing.
It's just catch up.
Yeah.
Honestly, just catching up and just talking in the kitchen, you know, around the island or something like that.
Oh, that's sweet.
You know what I mean? Like sitting on there, we're just like, let's talk about life and philosophies and like just things. Just,
genuine conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, novelty. All right, now back to your tour, though.
Yes.
You'll also be providing, I see the body language change. You're also performing songs from A Star is Born, which is really, really cool. How do you go about arranging your live show?
Yeah, well, for me, again, the live music is so important. And so I picked a lot of music where the live music is going to come through. And what a better way than, you know, A Star is Born. They had such a brilliant music. Obviously did, you know, so well the Oscars. And, you know, between that and actually there's a great thing with Michael Bublé, actually. I'm doing a big band song on the road as well, because again, it lends itself to like that live saxophone, live drums, just feels good. And so I called up, actually I texted Michael Bublé and I said, hey, like, I really want to use one of your songs on my tour. Is it possible to get the original recordings from your original session so we could play it, so my band can play to it so it really sounds huge and big? Thinking like, that's a big ask.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. 5 seconds later, no joke, as soon as I finish the text, there's bubbles, you know, up on the phone. Sends right back, anything you need, Derek, whatever you got, you know, I got you. So sent everything I needed straight away, and just, I love you, Michael. He's such a great guy.
That's amazing. It's such a cool, unique spin to it. So that's amazing. We're very excited for you, Derek. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Always being so fun.
Yeah.
You guys check out the new season of World of Dance tonight on NBC and visit DerekHough.com to get tickets to see Derek live.
And just like that, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Moroccan tour has come to an end. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex ended their 3-day trip to Morocco by paying a visit to the country's king, Mohammed VI. They also met with the king's sister and his son, Crown Prince Moulay Hassan. Meghan was glowing and very ready for spring in a blue patent dress by Carolina Herrera. And her husband, Harry, matched perfectly in his blue suede shoes. Now, the outing actually marked the couple's third outfit change for the day. They started out in one of their most casual looks ever for a visit to an animal therapy center where they visited with some horses. Meghan wore a green khaki J. Crew jacket over a long-sleeve striped shirt and jeans, while Harry, well, he hung out in a Patagonia jacket and gray slacks. Next, they made their way to a cooking demonstration where Meghan's sleek ponytail made it super easy for her to get in on the action and try all the delicious food. Yum! Then the couple switched into less casual ensembles for their next stop, a visit to a market in the Andalusian Gardens. Meghan wore a black pleated dress and a white blazer, while Harry, he kept it classic in khaki pants and a suit jacket. Harry and Meghan definitely got the most out of their final day in Morocco. The couple arrived in Morocco on Saturday and chose to stay on privately for one extra night at the end of their trip. They head back to London on Tuesday.
This week, I am going to hometowns.
Family's approval means everything. This is a make or break.
Oh my God!
Colton is meeting my family today, and that's really exciting.
John, Colton.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Meeting family changes everything. I'm terrified.
My dad might be a little intimidating.
Having the family blessing is a big deal for me.
Colton asking for the blessing, ooh, you know?
I'm scared, I'm terrified, I'm concerned. It's hard as a parent to see this. So I don't know if you're ready.
Not exactly what I wanted to hear.
With all the drama, twists, and turns, there's so much to unpack from last night's episode of The Bachelor. Here to break down all the highlights is Bachelor alum Caila Quinn. And I think joining us in a little bit will be Bachelor fanatic comedian Jared Freid coming on. Caila, how are you doing?
Andrea, thank you for having me. So excited to be here. Hometowns is the best episode of the entire season.
Yeah, let's bring on Jared. Come on. And we have a big round of applause. Woo! What's up? Come on, sit down. Okay. So Jared, welcome. I know that you, from your tweets and your Insta stories, you're a huge Bachelor fanatic. So why are you so obsessed with The Bachelor?
It's the best show on TV, the most well-produced show on TV, except for this one, of course. But, you know, hometowns, what's better than a hometown?
Yeah.
What is better than the most uncomfortable parent meeting in the history of parent meetings? What's better than a mom from Alabama going on the biggest show on TV and having to do her own makeup?
I know.
Come on, people. Come on.
I'm
Did you see her mom last night? Come on.
I know, but she's so sweet. I'm glad we have Caila really
Hannah G's mom was Mrs. Doubtfire.
All right, we're
I
gonna
couldn't believe it.
break down all of these. Caila, you went through this. Take me back. What was it like introducing Ben to your family? How did their opinion change before they met him and then after?
You know, parents don't have a handbook of how to handle television, so my parents were totally thrown off with all these cameras about. They're trying to have meaningful conversations with me. And before they met Ben, they were like really, really skeptical. And even after they met him, they were still really skeptical. So really nothing had changed.
Were you so nervous to
I was
introduce?
really nervous. And the entire time I just felt myself trying to convince him that I was in love. And my dad was like, I'm not buying it.
Wouldn't you be skeptical? I met this guy 2 weeks ago on TV. We're gonna get married. Right, Dad?
What do you think's going through Colton's head? Like, did you think he was calm? Was he nervous?
Colton's a real pro on the show. I think he's like really good at the show. He might not be very exciting. I think he's got the personality of this table right here, but I think he really does lead it well. I'm just waiting to see what's over that fence.
I know.
I'm waiting every day, and we're at the point where nothing could be big enough for him to have to jump over the fence. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be something like, hey, is that something on your shirt? And then he just jumps over a fence and it'll be over.
It'll be like nothing. I want to talk about like each of the dates. So Kaylin, he goes to Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, rode on a horse. Nothing crazy on this one, but you know, Kaylin's family very skeptical. What do we make of this date? And what do you make of Kaylin?
Look how
Jared?
uncomfortable he looks on this carriage. Who sits like that? I think the best part about this is that he had to fake this whole tour of her hometown like he cared. This is such a dude thing where you go, no, she goes, there's my pediatrician is. And he, oh, cool. Your pediatrician? Really? And it's like, the best part about the date, though, was that she just casually drops, I don't speak to my real dad. You're gonna meet my stepdad. And then no question. No. Well, what happened to your real dad? Wouldn't you want to know?
You know what? He doesn't do a lot of follow-ups.
No
That's what I've
follow-up.
noticed. There's not a lot of like deep conversation.
Yeah, Dad died in a fire. Oh, nothing else to ask.
Oh my gosh, I just have to say, when you film these hometown dates, it's only about like 40 minutes you're with the family. Like everything you see on television is exactly what they like the time they have together. So there's no in between. There's no time for Kaylin to catch up. And so,
well, didn't it feel like that the stepdad took the whole 40 minutes to find out if Kaylin liked him or not?
Yeah, I think it's hard on the families, though. Yeah, that is true.
It was a weird conversation.
Yeah, that one was the first one. Then we go to Hannah G, her date in Alabama. And this was very upsetting to me because an etiquette class is not something I would want to do on a date. But what do we think, Caila? What do you think about the etiquette class?
I thought it was really unoriginal. It's like, is there nothing else to do in Alabama that we have to teach Colton etiquette? First of all, he is probably the most polite person as it is.
Yeah, oh, you're gonna love my parents. Oh, by the way, and they're not stuffy at all, but put this book on your head and make sure that you have good etiquette.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to meet her parents after that. I'd be like, well, who are these people? Here's how you eat bread.
I did learn a lot. I mean, for the bread, you have to take out a piece. Who actually eats bread like that, though?
You're right. I'm with Colton. That would be like, the bread is cold. Like,
just take a bite out of the bread. I don't have to take little bits of it.
I would have eaten it already before they'd even put it down on the table. Like, that's how it just didn't make sense. And then you meet her family, Hannah G's family, and it's like, her mom looked like she speaks to ghosts. Like, it looked like she was on a medium TV show.
Which was kind of a theme throughout the episode. I mean, do you think for the families, it's the fact that they're meeting Colton, or is it the whole show in general that makes them just so nervous to want to give their daughter away to this man?
I mean, it's the whole show in general because, you know, they haven't been a part of the journey since the beginning. So this is their crash course on how to act on television. And literally every parent, every sibling is really self-conscious. They're like, I just want to be on TV and I don't want to mess up.
Wouldn't you be, though? Like, I mean, they didn't sign up for this. That's like the biggest thing is like, you're just saying, like, the one girl's sister, I think, you know, she comes on and it's like, you know, you're looking at her like, this wasn't what her plan. You know, this wasn't her. She wanted to go to college.
And then here you have Jared Freid making fun of them in Insta stories.
Of course. Listen, does she look like she was ready for RuPaul's Drag Race? It was crazy.
My gosh.
Who said that? Come on.
Let's talk Tayshia. They went skydiving. First of all, would you like a skydiving date? I would love that. I love skydiving.
I think that that's a great date. I will say those kind of dates, and I realize even my own hometown, because my hometown was at a toy factory, you know, there's not as much interaction when you have an activity like that, skydiving. You don't really get to know one another as much. So I do think the more intimate hometown dates, activities are better.
Skydiving, that bonds you. I went with my sisters, and we felt like were new people afterwards. Would you enjoy that?
Yeah, Colton definitely looked genuinely afraid. I thought it was a good date. I thought Tayshia, like, made herself the coolest of the remaining women, just because it did have this moment where he's afraid, she's into it, he's, you know, and like someone's gonna look at him and be like, no, it's just like having sex with a woman. I mean, what? You know, so then it just, I like that it broke him down.
Yeah.
For her to pick him up, so I did enjoy that date more. But then we go meet her parents, and she made this huge big deal about her crazy dad and how he's gonna be so tough to meet.
But he kind of was. I mean, but Jared, he initially said no.
And then 15 minutes later, she bats her eyes, and he's like, you're cool.
That was
Can't microwave a relationship. But throw it in the oven and you're good.
Caila, why did you think there was a switch? He first said no, and then all of a sudden he says, okay, sure.
Well, I think,
Because that's how hard it is to have a daughter.
You know, I think every parent, all they think about is the last time they see their daughter. And if this is the last time they see her, or he sees her, he wants to have a good memory.
What can you do as Colton to win over a family?
She bat her eyes and it was over.
Jared, what can you even do as Colton to win over the family? I mean, do you have a game plan?
There's nothing. Make the daughter happy. I mean, they're obviously convinced in a certain way that he's the one, and he comes in, please and thank you, hi mom, hi dad, nice hug, looks him in the eye. You know, those are all things, but you know, what's he gonna say to Tayshia's dad, who already watched a guy walk in and then divorce her three weeks later? So, I mean, I would be skeptical, but it just showed to me, I was like, man, you have a daughter, she bats her eyes twice. You're like, okay, get married to whoever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, it was a very quick turnaround. The final day was with Cassie in Huntington Beach, California. Teaching Colton to surf. This I would not like. I'm so bad at surfing. Caila, would you love or hate a date where you had to surf or do an activity that you maybe hadn't done before?
I love this surfing date. I think it's really fun to go to the beach and, just let loose. So I thought this was the perfect atmosphere.
Yeah, it would be a tough day for me if I had to wear my t-shirt on in the water. But I think Cassie, you could see the way they said hello to each other. It was like, okay, this girl seems to be above the rest. There was a big hug, big hello. He looks at her in a kind of you have a feeling that there's something there that the other girls kind of see.
But Cassie's the one who hasn't told her feelings to him, so why do you think that is?
That's my least favorite Bachelor character, the one that plays hard to get on a TV show that they self-tape to go on, okay? You are here for the show. Don't act like he's here for you. It's over, Cassie. Give it in. Come on.
Yeah, why do you think that she's holding back, Caila?
Well, there's no natural inclination to be like, I love you. There's no timer and waiting for it to ding. Oh, it's time to say I love you. So I think she's just waiting because she's not ready to say it. So I don't blame her.
Yeah, well, things didn't go according to plan when Colton talked to Cassie's father, so let's take a look at this.
The cult leader? He looks like he runs a cult in Utah.
So I think that a lifelong commitment that's big.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be taken at all lightly. No. Because it is forever, in my opinion. And too often it's, I think, done without enough thought. So I feel like as far as the hand in marriage, that would be a premature blessing. So is that?
So what do we make of this? I mean, I would be so intimidated at this point talking to a father like that.
Cassie's dad is creepy. He looks like a pastor for a cult in Utah. He's sitting there, this might be premature for me. I'll need your whole bank account before you can join. I kept waiting for that moment.
Okay, to give us the other side, Caila, what do you think? Because again, these people didn't sign up to get totally destroyed by everyone.
Honestly, this is how I expect every dad to act. This is his first instinct. This is what they probably want to say. And so I think he's, brave enough to say it. So, give Colton a hard time.
Let's give a few minutes for Cassie's sister. OMG.
She was a looker. She was a looker.
Oh my God.
But
she had a professional makeup artist.
She looks good.
Okay, join the show already.
I'm sorry.
I feel like you're meant to be
was
on it.
eliminated. They didn't reveal why exactly it happened. Why do you think that Cailin was eliminated? I was shocked by that.
I wasn't shocked.
You weren't?
Cailin had undercover hustle the whole show. She wants to be the Bachelorette. She even did her cry in the limo. She really went for it. That's where this is the game now. You want to be the Bachelorette. You go in that limo and you start tearing up big time. I'm totally blindsided. When she wasn't blindsided, the minute it was between her and Cassie for the last rose, she looks over and she's like, Uh-oh.
Caila, what do you think?
I think in your heart you think you're the one, so I think she was totally blindsided. I think they'll go into it maybe next week. But I just felt really bad because I was in love with Caila, and they even showed the montage of her as a baby during her hometown, and I feel like that really connected all of America with her.
But the more blindsided you act, the more chance you have at the Bachelorette. Becca Kufrin got a whole season out of that.
True. And okay, fantasy suites are next week. So real quick,
3 women.
being that Colton is
one
the
virgin. 3 disappointments.
How do you think this is gonna go, Caila?
I think he's not going to sleep with him, clearly. I feel like there's some plot twist that we're not seeing here that's about to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, listen, they've fed us this fence jump from
happening.
minute 1. It's coming next week. Listen, I've wanted to jump a fence after a few of my sexual exploitations before, so I get it. Like, listen, 30 seconds in and it never happens. I don't know, gotta jump a fence. So I get it.
All right, Caila and Jared, thank you so much for being with us and giving all your thoughts. You guys, to follow Colton's journey to find love, watch The Bachelor Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. All right, thank you so much for watching. Bye.